Badazz. Boosie Badazz. Step in front of the congregation real quick. We gotta talk to you, Boosie. Now listen. Motherfuckers gonna parent their kids how they parent their kids. I ain't here to tell them motherfucker how to raise their kids or whatever have you, but Boosie. Hey gang, you don't have the best track record. Listen, I ain't really here to talk about his parenting methods, because there is the whole thing about him, like when his son was like 13 or 12 or whatever, hiring an adult worker or stripper, whatever it was, or even a lady of the night, if you catch my drift, like to pleasure him at that young of age is insane. It is insane. But people like that shit go on. But anyways, regardless. So there's some new stuff that came out. And we're going to be talking about Boosie. There's going to be another Boosie video because he said some other shit. But Boosie, he clarifies his controversial comments about his daughter's sexuality. So apparently, as we can know, Boosie literally put out a song called Letter to the LGBT. I call them the alphabet community. But then, previously titled Letter to the Gays. So we all know Boosie has his little thoughts about them. And like I said, Boosie, I don't really agree with none of that, except the sports thing. The sports thing is kind of valid. Because if you change your gender and go to the opposite gender sports, like if you're a male boxer and you transition and then you go there's some conversation there. Like we can have a proper conversation about it. I feel like that one was valid. But everything else I was like, yeah, Boosie. Especially how he started the song off. Motherfucker said, hey. And this is what Boosie said, you two, so leave me alone. He said, I told him not to cut his male genitalia off. That's what Boosie said. That's what Boosie said. Okay, you two, leave me alone. But anyways, what you talking about? He clarifies that he's not happy about it. And that's some, as much as you can police your child about certain aspects or show them right from wrong, it's like, at the end of the day, they're going to take that education and go on their own path. Now, don't get me wrong. You don't have to like everything your child does. I'm pretty sure some of this shit I do, my fucking guardians and parental figures looking at me like, what the fuck is you want? I'm not going to sit here like I'm like Mr. Pristine or whatever have you. But at least motherfuckers is going to sit there and try to educate you and put you on to certain things. There should be an open dialogue, like open conversations. It cannot just be you unwilling to listen and understand. And again, Boosie comes from a different time. That's also one thing we have to understand, bro. Like, some of this stuff was not flying back in the day, okay? It was not. And depending on your background, like if you're from like a lot of them Caribbean countries and the African countries, listen. If you part of the community, they'll literally hang your ass. So like, come on now. Like, some people, they're like, it's bred in them in a sense. I'm not saying it's okay, but like, you see, that's what I'm saying. There has to be open dialogue. There has to be some conversation and understanding. But and that still might not mean he might be okay with it. But hey, but anyways, let's read this thing, man. So Boosie Badazz said he doesn't want his LGBT affiliated daughter. He basically says she's gay or whatever to contaminate his other kid. Yo, that's crazy. Yo, Boosie's crazy. Motherfucker said contaminate like she a disease. Boosie's insane. Okay. So recently Boosie Badazz sat down with young Carisha. Young Carisha. Sat down with young Miami for the live version of her podcast, Carisha Please. During their conversation, he made a few remarks about his daughter, Ivana, and her being openly gay. According to him, he doesn't want her to bring home a partner out of fear of their homosexuality, somehow contaminating his other kid. Yo, that's insane. How do you say that? I mean, she still can't bring her situation to our house. My daughter's grown because I don't want it to contaminate her. You know what's crazy about Boosie, right? He had this whole song called Letter to the LGBT, saying all the stuff he doesn't like about it. But you have a child who is part of that. That is insane. How that? Yeah, I kind of want to know their relationship because that's insane. If you heard that song and Hey, maybe go listen to it for research purpose. Yo, he was saying some shit. And I don't mean it like, yo, he was really talking. Like, he was saying some shit like, you gonna scratch your head? Like, we'll see. Like I said, the sports thing I do agree with. Oh, that should be a conversation to be had. Maybe because I play sports. Maybe I'm not looking at it that way. I'm pretty sure somebody else might be like, oh, no, that was very disrespectful. Me, because I play sports, I kind of like, we should have conversation about people transitioning and then being in the sport. I feel like there should be a little bit of a conversation about it, but you know what I'm saying? What was I? I don't want it to contaminate her other siblings. It's a generation we're raising. I don't want her to contaminate her other 6, 7 sisters. Nigga, 7, 6? God, yo, how many kids Boosie got? 6, 7? Who look up to her. I want them to bring me grandchildren the right way, he said, for obvious reasons. His comments were hurtful and offensive to many, including Ivan. I could see that. Boosie says he has never meant to hurt his daughter. See, it's so crazy he did that song, though. That makes no sense. She took to social media to respond, making it clear that she didn't appreciate her father's comments. According to her, he could have easily chosen to share his feelings with her directly instead of announcing them publicly. Hey, baby girl, listen, I get it. It's a different relationship. And maybe you separate Boosie, the artist, rapper, performer, whatever you classify him as, compared to Boosie, your father. There's like a little bit of a difference. But the fact he made that song, like the conversation should have been had between y'all. But anyways, what was that? Yeah, emotionally, mentally, you suck, she said. Like, I would respect if you just said just one time, just say, my daughter, know how I feel about that. Can we move on to the next question? Upon hearing his daughter's response, Boosie took to Instagram yesterday to clarify that his goal is not to hurt his daughter. I never meant to hurt you, he captioned a photo of the two of them when Ivan was a kid. Daddy, baby, I love you. He went on to share various additional photos featuring her and his other children. We got, he captioned one of them. What do you... Yeah, well, Boosie tweak a little bit, man. Boosie be tweaking a little bit. That's the thing with Boosie tweak a little bit. That's my thing with Boosie. Listen, everybody gonna have their views. Some people could be open and slowly change their views. Some people is not, as we learned. Some shit you might be into, the other motherfucker might not. As this life, like, you can't be PC and just be like, oh, I like everything. You gonna say some shit that might piss others off. You gonna say some shit that people agree with, and some people don't agree with. That's how this fucking life works. At the end of the day, I do respect, in a sense, Boosie's rawness of, yo, this how I feel, and I'm gonna just say it. I kind of respect it a bit, but at some point, bro, like, you will hurt people around, especially the fact that your daughter's part of the community and you have these thoughts. Like, you literally have someone to discuss this with. Now, she might not be the most well informed, because again, everybody's situation is everybody's situation. But it's like, bro, your daughter's literally part of this community, and some of the vitriol you might have with them. Now, it might just be from his upbringing, but as well, like, bro, like, you're raising a young queen. Regardless, she's still a young queen, bro. You have to have, I wouldn't say sympathy, but try to understand. Try to be open to the conversation. And some shit you might just not understand. You might not agree with. That's fine. But at least try to have an open perspective. And I feel like sometimes certain things he does spout, he's just without thinking and without like, maybe this is why, or maybe that is why. Like, there's no factoring, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? No thought and factor of, oh, this is something, this is the thing. Now, don't get me wrong. When they start being like, yo, I don't identify as a dude and stuff like that, that's where I get lost. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not like a gender. I get confused. But like, again, bro, you got to try to understand a bit. Just be open to conversation. That's really all I'm trying to say. But what do y'all feel, bro? Comment down below. Links in the description. Besides that, friendly neighborhood K.A. signing off for today. Black TJ there while I'm doing this thing. My name ring bells like Quasimodo. Hit like, subscribe, try to hit a little bit more though. You heard me? I'm gone. Slams on peace, gang. Alright. you.